Okay, so I'm back for another one. It's Ron here, Shortcut Garage. This is my 67 Chevy C10 short box. I want to yank the 396 out of it and put this 302 in there. Sorry, 402. It's basically a 396 that's been rebuilt and bored over 30 over. Came across it on MarketPlace. Kind of a rare find up where I live anyway. You don't really see a lot of 396s kicking around, period. I know in a world where everybody's LSing everything, which is great, by the way, I decided I wanted to kind of stick with the big block in this thing. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start assembly on this thing. Maybe I'll pull that truck out. We'll move this into the middle of the garage and we'll get started on it. Sold Taco's motor yesterday. That went to Calgary. Seems to be a lot of my stuff's going to Calgary these days. Anyway, I'll pull this truck out and we'll get started. Keys are going on the table. Don't let me forget them. I have to admit that truck looks sick. Cool little rig. I picked up some paint match yesterday. I don't know how well it matches, but it's across the tailgate there. Just kind of scuffed up that Bondo that was peeling off. You can see where I cut out the piece to go scan and match. Anyway, let's get back on this guy. So, as you guys know, on this motor, on the 67 Chevy, it's got a 396 in it. I came across this 402 and I thought, man, wouldn't that be cool to put in there? The 396 is cool and everything. I thought, it hasn't been rebuilt since Jerry owned it, and that was 79 or 1980, something like that. Seems to run okay and everything. I just thought, this is rebuilt. It's never been run. It'd be a good one for us, so that's what we're gonna do today. I picked it up. We need some assembly, as you can see. So I thought maybe I would just kind of make a little video and kind of show you guys, I don't know, maybe what you got to do to prep a motor to assemble it. So I bought this as a short block. It came with a bunch of parts. Maybe we'll throw those parts on and get this guy set up. I mean, one of the first things I'll do, maybe we can get this timing chain on. I don't see any reason not to. Well, I don't know if I guess I'll have to see if I can find the bolts for that. I didn't see them. So this, you can see on this the gear for the crank, it's got a raised side and then a not raised side. And your raised side, of course, has this little dot. And that dot is what we're going to use to line this guy up. So you want to get that on there. I'll just put a little bit of oil on there. I'll just hammer this on ever so lightly. Just something just to help her along. Sometimes they need that, you know? Especially the old ones. All right. Look at that, eh? So you want to set these up dot to dot. You can see on here my dot's up over here, this dot's up here. So what I want to do is I want to turn that so it's dot to dot. This could even come back a hair. Right about there works. So what you do is you throw your chain on this guy, bring it up on that guy. In theory, you should be able to get one of these started. Okay, so if you see that dot and that dot, they're lined up. I'll bring you in for a closer look once I get these tightened up. So just a little 7/16. Boy, that's sloppy, eh? See that? Well, looks new. What can I say? Okay. Let me bring you in so you can take a look. Okay, see that dot and that dot? They're lined up right now. So a mistake some people make is thinking this is top dead center, and it is, but it's not top dead center for number one. Number one, this would be all the way up at the top. So this up and that up. This moves 2 times for every 1 time of this rotation, right? So this is top dead center for number 6, which of course is directly opposite number 1. And if I rotated this over till this dot was at top and this top state was where it is, then we'd be number 1 top dead center for number 1. Anyway, let's take a look. I noticed it's got these galley plugs kind of blocked off there, which is awesome. This one he doesn't. I believe this is the one we're going to use for our oil sending unit. Sorry, is it this one? I guess I better figure that out, eh? Yeah, this looks like it's for... Is it this one? What do we got going on here, fellas? Let's take a look. Let me grab a light. Oh. Yeah, that's definitely an oil passage. This one's not. And that one is. So I believe that's going to be our oil passage for our oil pressure gauge. Maybe I should switch that around with the other one though. We'll see. Why does it have so many down here? Does anybody know? I'm not familiar with those. I'm not sure what this is here. This, I didn't quite get this intimate with my other big blocks, to be honest. The other ones, I just kind of tore them down, resealed them, put them back together. So everything just kind of went back. That must be for a temp sensor, I assume. Let's do some digging. Let's do some digging on the internet and find out what all these guys are for. This one looks like it's for the, you know, the clutch ball. This one I'm not sure about. It definitely goes in there. My guess is oil sending something. Look at that. Yeah. This is oil pressure here, because see that? You can actually see the light come in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. So that's definitely oil passage. I don't know about that guy. Maybe we'll do a little internet search here and see what we can find out. All right, let's pop back real quick. So I slapped the timing cover on. I just put a little bit of gasket adhesive on both sides of that gasket. So what I like to do at this point is, so I paint this before I put it on so I don't get it all over my new seal. So what I like to do at this point is I'll spray the back of it here so I can put my water pump on, and then the water pump will be part of the final spray. So I bought a new water pump for this thing, and when I put it on, what I'll do is I painted the back of it so I can put it on, and that way I don't have to try it in behind it kind of deal. Anyway, let me throw that guy on, and then we'll see where we go. Okay, as always, I always mess something up, and this time what I messed up was the water pump. So this water pump is for a big block and everything. It works on the 396. Let me pop the door and I'll show you on the truck what the problem is. So when I ordered it for a 68 Chevy C10. Oh, let me open this. When I ordered the water pump, I ordered it for a 68 Chevy C10 with a 396. Now, a 396 in 68, you could get that in these trucks, but you couldn't in 67. Anyway, see this accessory mount here for the power steering? I know it's hard to see on this side, but there's another one there for the alternator. And as I have this thing bolted up on the truck, I realized, hey man, where's my power steering gonna mount and where's my alternator gonna mount? Frustrating, but better to catch it now than, you know, when we're actually putting it in the truck. So when I pull that motor out, I'll just yank that water pump and we'll toss it on here. Not a real big deal. Also took a Sharpie and just ran it down there. Find it a lot easier to read. I know it's not as pretty, but it's there. Anyway, I'm going to carry on. I'm going to throw the harmonic balancer on, and then we'll keep going from there. I'm going to flip this thing over and paint the other side here soon too. Okay. Now when it comes to your harmonic balancer, I know a lot of guys are fine just slamming her on there. Some guys will use the bolt itself to push it on. Some guys will take a 2x4 and just hammer it on there. Either of those work, and I've done them both. But they do make a tool for it. Typically, you can go rent this tool for free. So if you can, if that's an option to you, my advice is go get it. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good tool to have. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit of oil on here too. Okay, it should be pretty good. Well, the more the better. Okay. So you thread that in there. You take your big bastard. In this case, it's 32 mil. And you should be able to just, as you tighten it, I hope you can see, she just pulls her on. No hammering, nothing like that. I just want to, I think I'll put a little bit on the outside too, just so we don't catch that seal the wrong way. So that's so we just don't mar that seal on the way in. Just gonna move you over a little bit so I don't hit you. I normally take a paint pen and just mark it up here, but I don't have one, so I just use a Sharpie. Silver Sharpie works just as good. So now when I go to set my timing, I got a better mark there, and I got a better mark there too. I'll be able to read it, which is kind of nice. Okay, maybe I'll get this flipped over, and we'll trim up the bottom end. Okay, so I just laid the old oil pan on top here, and covered up my new harmonic balancer I just put on. Covered in there, where the oil filter goes. I'm just gonna throw some paint down on here. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just fog these guys now too. So I've taped off the intake and the exhaust ports, and I'm laying it down on the face of it that's going to meet the engine itself. And then for the top side, I just put on the old valve covers. I just put on the old valve covers to keep the paint off the valve springs. So we'll just dust her on here. Don't need to get too heavy. How's that look? I think it's acceptable. Maybe I'll get this flipped back over and we'll install those heads. Okay. Okay. I know the internet's a little torn on should you oil a lifter before you install it or not. I do. A lot of guys say they don't. And they don't have any problems. So, I don't know. Do whatever you want to do, I guess. Today, we're doing it. So, I guess we'll see if this thing actually runs or not. Before I get too cocky. There you go. You don't have to do this before the heads are in. For me, I just find it's easier to slide them in this way than after the heads are in. Not that it's actually hard to do, but anyway, there we are. That's going to do it for now. Okay. All right. Laid into place pretty good. Pretty happy about that. Okay. So before I get too carried away, I want to put a little dab of oil everywhere where the bolt hole goes. So that's that little bit of oil I had for the lifters. I'm just gonna brush it on here, so I get I don't want to get hung up or throw my torque off. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's what we're aiming for anyway. Forward back over here. So I got my new head bolts here, and I got tape on them, but I also want to put just a little bit of pipe dope on there too. Just gonna get them started. So anyway, I bought these ones on Rock Auto. You know, will I regret it? Maybe, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. We're gonna find out together. All in one video. Okay, so I went and confirmed my torque spec. 75 foot-pounds for the long ones, 65 for the short ones. So we'll just work our way out from the center. Okay, you guys ready to do this again? All right, so let's slap our gasket up there. In case you're wondering, you can't put it on backwards. Like it just doesn't, well, I guess it does fit, but the holes don't line up. See that? So in case you're wondering, hey, which way does it go? It goes this way. Always with the good stuff up, okay? Let me grab that head and toss it on here. And come on now. There we go. Okay, so what I got from Rock Auto was actually some head bolts that already had tape on them. I don't really trust the tape alone. So I putting the pipe dope on here as well. Permatex, white, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. That's what I had in the toolbox. I've used RTV silicone before. It works. I've never had one leak. Ah, damn it. I forgot to oil it up. Give me a sec. I just want to oil that up first. So what I like to do is just put a little oil just around the seating surface so that the bolt's not binding on that. That way I just get truer torque values, that's all. Go ahead and start popping these guys in here. Just get that sealant all the way around. Get in there. When you buy these, you have to be careful because some say one kit required, some say 2 kits required. This one didn't say anything. You gotta count your bolts. So this one here, I did have to buy two kits to do 2 heads. Some of the kits, you know, one kit does both heads. Some of the kits, they don't. Be careful when you're buying them. Don't just go for the cheapest one. I paid, I think it was $20 for each head, so each kit, and that was Canadian. So for you Americans, what's that? I don't know. $14 or something. But on my last one, so when I did the heads on the other one, I ended up pulling some of the bolts through. And you know what? I don't know if it's because I reused the bolts. I can't say it's not why it happened. And I ended up putting a bunch of Healy coils in. I don't know if you remember that, but I did. All right, let's talk about the guide plates. So these are the guide plates. They actually sit in here and the rocker goes on top of it. And we got an issue because our push rods, say this guy, here, I'll move those out of the way. It's supposed to fit in here. Grabbed a shorty, of course. Goes in this side here. It does not fit. And the problem is, you see in here, it doesn't fit inside here. See that? Now, there's where it does fit. So, like some guys say, oh yeah, you can just open it up. So it's the same. This is hardened steel. You're not just getting a drill bit in there and doing it. You'd have to get a grinder in there, and you know what, for a few dollars, just get the right one. That's my opinion anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put new guide plates in, and then we'll come back and we'll throw all of our push rods in, and we'll get this guy ready to go. All right, it's time to hurt some feelings, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
A lot of people are not gonna like the way I do this, but here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna set these rockers, these valves, once and for all. So I'm gonna watch here. I'm gonna watch till we get no movement on here. So here we go. Intake's opening up. Intake's closed. Exhaust is opening. When that exhaust closes, we can go ahead and set these valves up. All right, there we go. Exactly where we want to be. Now we can adjust these. So I just want to take the movement out of here. I'm just going to move this up and down until it stops moving. Right about there. I'm going to go one complete turn. And then same with this guy. And we'll go one complete turn. We'll go ahead and we'll grab a couple of keepers. See all guys here. Turn them in.
Back the nut off?
Yep. Oh, nope, we didn't actually, did we? So with these crane cam ones, I want you to back it off a 1/16 of an inch, or sorry, a 1/16 of a turn. And then we'll tighten up this lock.
They're called polylocks.
Polylocks. And then we'll take our 1/16 of a turn back. And we're locked. We can go on to the next one. We'll do this one next. That side's all done already. There we go. Tighten her up. Okay, we're gonna get started and rip this motor apart. When I say we, look who's here. Everyone's favorite, CJ.
Hey, CJ!
Unless my buddy Jeff is your favorite. Let me know in the comments. Which one do you prefer? Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and rip this down.
Popularity contest.
We're gonna go ahead and rip this down. CJ, you want to grab your phone? We'll see what time it is.
It is 6:28.
6:28. That's gonna be our official start time. I'm just gonna put you guys on time lapse so we can put some music on, and we'll start ripping through this thing. Okay, it's the next morning. CJ and I are ready to pull this guy out of here. Say good morning, CJ.
Good morning, CJ.
Never gets old.
Nope.
Okay, so where can I set you guys?
In front of their computer so they could watch the video. You need to go up more.
I really worry that tranny's gonna slam down. Worry no more, I guess, eh?
Well, that's why I had you raise it a bit. We're good on the. Whoa, careful.
Okay, again, 1, 2, 3. Oh shit.
Okay, let me know when you're ready.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Ah! What am I doing wrong?
Here, hold on. This might just be a little bit of.
Got it.
Okay.
Back this one off.
Okay, so where are we to? Get the oil pan on. We're gonna drop the engine stand off this one. We threw the other one outside just to make some room in here for us. If you're local and you want the other motor, it was running, driving. It was making a little bit of noise. Everything looks good on the bottom end. I don't know what's going on. It does have some Healy coils in it. Anyway, 500 bucks. Gonna treat it as a core. Back to this one. We're gonna throw the flex plate on. And we'll get this bad boy slammed in. Is that the ghost of Christmas past?
Looks like it.
So we had a bit of an incident. We had left the starter wired up and left it down there, just kind of sitting on those tranny lines where CJ is. And when we were moving the motor around in here, must have hit something, I guess, because it knocked the starter onto the ground and knocked off some of the CJ's wiring. Somebody's wiring. It's hard to say whose it was.
Well, it wasn't mine. That's what
CJ has his suspicions.
I
have no idea.
He has no idea. I think somebody broke in here and wired that starter on me. I don't know what happened. Probably I did it. Or it was already there.
Could be ducking.
Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. What matters is it's getting fixed properly now. And then we'll continue on. I'm just going to change the battery out on this GoPro. Okay, so we're having trouble getting the motor and transmission sorted. To be honest, should have probably just unbolted transmission, slid her back a couple of inches, but one of those shortcuts that just ain't paying off today. At this point, we do got it kind of shimmy shaked into place. I think I'm going to get some bolts back there on there between the transmission and the engine. Then I'll come down here and fight with the motor mounts. And then I'll bring you guys back and we'll slap the rest of her together. It should be pretty straightforward at this point. Okay, well, these are trying times. Did you say so, Siege?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. Having a day. Went to go put the valve covers on. They don't fit because they're roller rockers. Went to go pick up some valve covers, and turns out tall valve covers, big block valve covers don't fit because of the firewall. Had to clearance that. And then on top of that, we're just kind of having a day. But I think we're there. We're going to find out right now. Probably take the before picture, eh?
Not a bad idea.
CJ, you want to do the honors?
No, you did. You definitely earned it.
Okay.
Well, that's awfully got close.
Okay, let me walk you through some of the trouble spots we had. So I had roller rockers in here. I don't know if you remember that or not. This, when I bought the heads and the short block, it didn't come with valve covers. So I tried to use the valve covers that I used last time, the short ones. They don't fit. So I went out and bought some tall ones, and they don't fit against the firewall. So actually I'd get a pipe and a hammer and smash that all out. You can't see it, which is great, but know that I clearanced that firewall on both sides. Another thing, if you look here, I don't know, I might have 1.5 inches here of clearance. So this valve cover ain't coming on and off with the booster there. Yeah, you can get a smaller booster. That's probably what I would do if I was to do this over again. But this booster went on the same day as these valve covers. So you know I'm not just throwing that away and buying another one. So I removed this, set it out of the way. You've probably seen that in the last shot. This thing floating around. So anyway, this had to come off so I could get that valve cover in there. And of course I didn't want to reinstall it until, you know I don't have any leaks or anything here, or I got to get back in here and adjust a rocker or something silly. Anyway, I did run it for my 20 minutes there, breaking the cam, so on and so forth. Who wants to see that? Nobody. But maybe I'll just show you how she runs here. It is manual choke. I don't have a choke cable, so I just got it closed off. It really wants that choke closed a bit, but I don't have a choke cable, so if I close it manually, it's fine. It would really like the electric choke. That doesn't have it. Anyway, that's what I got. Pretty happy with the way it runs. sneak peek at the Dakota Digitals there. But anyway, it runs decent. I like it a lot. She's snorty. She'll get up out of her own way. Another problem I had was, I don't know if you remember in the other video when I put these headers in the other engine, they seemed to fit okay and cleared. But now, for whatever reason, because the 396 came out, the 396 went in, this guy's making contact right here. So, whether it's the way the motor mounts were mounted before, I don't know. But I'm going to have to go in and clearance this again. But this time I'm not going to clearance the header, I'll clearance the mount. I'm just going to cut that mount down. I'll cut it, and then I'll just weld in a piece and take care of it that way. Because it makes a little bit of noise when you get on it. Anyway, that's her. Also had a couple of these heat boot deals I had to put in there because I was making contact. I think that's about it. Those are the big ones. The biggest thing was clearancing the firewall. That sucked. And of course now gonna have to go in and remove the header and clearance the motor mount. That sucks. Having to remove your power brake booster to get at the valve cover, that sucks. But having that 402 in here, that's pretty awesome. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this one. If you hung around this long, do me a favor, think about subscribing. We could really use some subscribers on this this channel. All right, that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Be sure to stick around because the next video is actually the installation of these Dakota Digital gauges I picked up off eBay, and they're pretty cool. I'll show you how we did that, and I'll let you know what the kit's called and why you should get one. All right, thanks, guys.